clashed where he really wanted to win. His team, who they didn't give too much of,
and it's usually one person that's not pulling their weight. In this case, it's like the opposite. The whole team's not pulling the weight, and only one is. So let's, Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We're here to watch another video. Today we're here to watch this Marvel Rivals Drama is Nuts by Penguin Zero, or Moist Critical as everybody likes to call him. So I'm not really too aware of what's going on, but all I know is that it had to deal with a Marvel Rivals tournament. I'm guessing that something happened between a team. So let's go ahead and see what this is about. If you guys want to watch the original video, links down below. And let's go in 3, 2, 1, and play.
I haven't heard of video game drama this big since the whole Dream Minecraft speedrunning saga. What's happening with the Marvel Rivals $40,000 tournament situation is pretty bizarre. In a nutshell, there was a Marvel Rivals tournament with a $40,000 prize purse. There was a player by the name of Kingsman who really wanted to take this seriously, making a mention that this money would be very helpful to him as a college student. And the rest of the team didn't seem to take it all that seriously, and eventually, when Kingsman was trying to, make changes to the team comp so they could better stand a chance at winning, they all attacked him, and eventually it led to him getting kicked from the tournament. His team then went on to place second to last in the tournament.
Okay, before we get into the video, what of it that you guys aren't taking seriously? Like, honestly, let's think about it. $40,000 on the line, and you think I'm going to let that thing slide? Is insane. But okay.
Okay, guys. Taste and point proven right now. Do you understand?
Well, you've been making
yes, how do you not see the problem right now?
Wait, first of all, it's deadass Kingsman, like, shut the fuck up.
Okay, bro.
You're doing too much.
Lucy's not even on Invis. Second of all, you're getting value because
No, she shouldn't be dead.
Yes.
I'm getting value because I'm 1v6ing.
Hulk isn't peeling for you, bro. Yes, Zaza is 0-5, but we won the point, bro. Why? Because they were hard. Like, 4 people are dying here. That means 4 of their util, 4 of their resources are all spent on Zaza.
I saw this a couple days ago, and I was so confused why anyone would be joining a tournament if they didn't actually care about winning at all. So he is very clearly trying his best to help the team win. And they were talking about like how toxic and annoying and insufferable he was, things like that, which eventually led to him getting kicked and being like disrespectful, that kind of thing. From all the clips I've seen, he never made any like personal attacks against anyone. He was never even like overbearing or like yelling and screaming. The closest he came was in this clip here where he's like, do you understand? Like, case in point, we should make a switch. This isn't working. Our widow is 0, 5, and 0, which is a very fair point and a good suggestion because it clearly wasn't working. They may have won the point.
Well, if that's the case, then yeah, I would say so. If one of your teammates or if your team or coordination, I'm guessing, is not, performing to the point where you're going to stand a chance in the tournament, I would say there is a need for a change. I don't see how that's any issue, and he wasn't being disrespectful. He was basically trying to highlight this is exactly what he was talking about. So, all right.
But I think it's a large part because Kingsman put the team on his fucking back here, like 18-2. He was kind of going Insano style. I don't know why this became such a huge issue for his teammates, where they hated him so much for trying to win that they started insulting him after the fact. And that's where most of the drama stems from. Them refusing to switch is one thing that feels like it's kind of trolling and just intentionally throwing the tournament for the sake of vibes, which is weird because, again, just go play quick play or something. Why even bother going into a tournament if the goal isn't to try and win it? He made it clear he wanted to sweat because this would be very important money for him in his situation with college. Now, I also heard that when the tournament was put together, there wasn't an announcement about how much money was on the line. So I think maybe there was some confusion from the team where they wanted to just play for fun and sillies and goofies. And then once $40,000 was announced, they still had that mindset. Meanwhile, Kingsman really wanted a piece of that pie because it would be helpful to him. It'd be like $3,000, which is a significant amount of money, especially for someone in college where this could be very useful. So that clashed where he really wanted to win. His team, who they didn't give too much of a fuck. They didn't think it was that big of a deal.
That's such a weird thing, because usually it's kind of like that. It's kind of like when you're in school and you have a class project, and it's usually one person that's not pulling their weight. But in this case, it's like the opposite. The whole team's not pulling the weight, and only one is. So I honestly, I've never heard of somebody saying, you know what, screw this, guys. Well, we're just gonna play this for fun. $40,000 be damned. Yeah, okay.
So he, throughout like their time playing together, would be making like suggestions and saying like, hey, you know, there's going to be this in the tournament, there's going to be that, maybe we should look at this, maybe we should look at that. And I think they were just getting so annoyed that he was wanting to win so badly that they started to really resent him for it. It eventually led to like the bubbling over point where he got reported to the tournament organizer. They said a whole bunch of nasty stuff about him, and then it snowballed into what it is today, mainly because the team captain was so vocal about her disdain for this guy. She said things like, I'm pretty sure he spent all 20 years of his life inside playing video games, which is why he lacks social skills. You are also spending your time inside playing video games. You're a streamer. Why are you using that as an insult against him? I didn't really detect a lack of social skills throughout any of the footage I saw of them playing together. I guess you could make an argument that, you know, maybe his attitude could grind your gears because he was offering like a lot of advice on potential team comps, and he did multiple times mention like, hey, the Black Widow's probably not going to work here. We've got to be mindful of like dive comps, that kind of thing. Would you be willing to try like Bucky perhaps? And they would always kind of like roll their eyes at him and be like, shut the fuck up. Like, there's a clip I saw where one of them was like, you've got to just drop this, drop this, drop this. That's enough. Stop making suggestions, basically, about, you know, switching. It's not happening. Look, which I think is a pretty hostile response to that, because this is coming from a place of him just trying to help the team win. I don't think he was being, like, necessarily overbearing with it or anything like that. He certainly wasn't really being aggressive about it. Like, he never got personal. He was never, like, insulting his teammates. He was never doing anything like that, from what I could tell. So I truly didn't see like a lack of social skills. I just saw someone who really wanted to win because there was a significant amount of money on the line. And if you're in a tournament, why would you not be trying to win? Team captain even made this statement saying, I don't want to win with someone who can't take no for an answer.
What? Like, Them 6 likes don't. I don't know if anybody really agrees with you, because that for 11 hours and 6 likes is insane. All right.
Which is a certified stinky comment for sure. That's a big time PU moment right there for the Jumbotron. I don't know where that's even coming from. His suggestions weren't heeded. Okay? He didn't start like, you know, stomping his feet and yelling and screaming and pissing and shitting about it either. He's just like, okay, alright, we'll do it. We'll run it, fuck it, we'll do it live. And when it didn't work, he did eventually say, like, look, told you so, can we please make this switch? And then still got attacked for it. I didn't see any examples of him not taking no for an answer. Like, yes, he did make a suggestion multiple times, like, would you be willing to try this? Would you be willing to maybe switch here? What about this? But that isn't not taking no for an answer. That is coming from someone who wants to win a fucking $40,000 tournament. He then continued to insult Kingsman and I guess anyone that was supporting him in her Discord, saying, yo, Kingsman cocksuckers, screenshot this. Y'all think I ain't seen the toxicity in the Kingsman Discord with not spreading hate from the mods and Kingsman community?
So you're stalking the Kingsman Discord? For someone who has a lot of disdain, or appears to have the disdain from somebody, why are you taking, like I'm saying allegedly that she was over here, you know, looking into the Kingsman Discord, but why are you looking into the Discord of someone that you really, really, or apparently don't like? I mean, am I tripping? Does that make any sense to anyone?
Fire emoji. This one will really get your eyebrow in the air. So she's calling out the people that were supporting Kingsman, saying they're cocksuckers and how toxic they are. Meanwhile, she has been the most openly toxic, like vocally expressing her disdain for this guy and now like his community. And let's not get it twisted. I think it's pretty obvious. Most people have probably seen a lot of like really dog shit takes from people that are using this as just like a giant insult against all women who play video games. That is absolutely happening, and that shit sucks. Those are some fucking losers you can make fun of. Absolutely. But she, from what I can tell when this message was sent, was talking about like anyone that was expressing support for Kingsman, and I'm sure there probably were some like absolute greaseballs that went through and said some terrible things, sure. But to extend that to like anyone that was supporting Kingsman, calling them cocksuckers, I think is just kind of crazy, especially considering she has by far been the most mean and nasty about this. Kingsman, from what I saw from
the absolutely, well, let me just go ahead and at least say this. It seems very disproportionate from what we saw in the clip, like quite, like verily so. Like, man just wants to win a tournament. He's, you know, putting forth suggestions and, you know, possible ways to resolve the team, you know, coordination or comp or whatever they call it in Marvel Rivals. And the way that the whole thing went down, and for it to just, you know, delve into this where she's just being rude and nasty, in particular to people who didn't see anything wrong with what Kingsman was doing. Am I the only one that finds that this just seems like more like something's just deeply, you know, a deep shift in her? Like there's just something that she has unresolved, because this just seems a bit out there, you know? That's how I feel.
The clips that were during this time, he tried to like actively say like, hey, don't go harass anyone and don't be mean, you know, it is what it is at the end of the day. Like, he was clearly upset about it, but I felt like he was doing, or at least making an effort to try and stop people from going and doing shit like that. She, on the other hand, was just openly attacking him.
Everyone thinks this guy's a
exploder, like a bug. That's just what happens.
That's such a good point. You're so right about that. And we're still gonna play Widow.
I need this for my college. I need this for my college. I have about 6 or 7 more years.
This is a clip I keep seeing spread around. That first clip is when he is explaining like why the Widow's not going to work, and they're like, oh, great point. Go fuck yourself, we're still playing Widow. That's all we're gonna do. We're here just for good vibes, good time, and I don't care if this money means something to you, because it doesn't to us. That second clip, that is not Cece, that is someone else named Lucy, whom has deleted this VOD, so I can't even find the full context here, but from the sound of things, she is insulting Kingsman because of him expressing the want of the $3,000 because it would be very helpful to him as a college student, so then she's...
And also, you gotta think about the optics, right? Besides the, you know, the other stuff with CC, let's look at the optics. If someone is saying that they want to win because the money from this tournament is going to help them with their financial situation, whether it be for college or mortgage, rent, whatever have you, you are acting in this manner. Am I the only one that finds that this is a weird disconnect? My brain, it's like my brain can't function in a way to understand how you think. I don't know if this is the proper, you know, comparison, but this is like watching a prankster or somebody who walks out of a McDonald's, sees a homeless person, and then goes ahead and says, "Oh, you're hungry? Well, I don't care because I actually have the money to pay for my food," and just eats a burger right in front of him. That's how I feel.
He's like making fun of him, taking the piss, even threw in an absolutely revolting 6'7" meme reference that'll make your skin crawl about it. It's just very mean-spirited. There's also another clip of her talking about it, saying, like, even if you support Kingsman, like it's fucking Israel or something. I don't even know what she was trying to say with that one. I guess since I referenced it, I'll show you that clip too.
I have a genuine question. Like, seriously, answer this. Even if you support Kingsman, whatever, support Kingsman like it's fucking Israel. Anyways, whatever you have in your head, I have a genuine question. I
think everyone has a genuine question after seeing that segment there. I don't know why she would be saying something like that with this. Again, the whole VOD, from what I can tell, is no longer accessible, so I don't even know what the question she was about to ask is. But yeah, it's definitely not a good look, and she is very openly, like, making fun of Kingsman from what I can see in the clips that still exist of it. But this is not CC, this was not someone that played on Kingsman's team, I don't believe. All of this is only the tip of the iceberg, by the way. It gets so much deeper. There was a Google Doc that was put out there from the widow's boyfriend. The tournament organizer initially, like, doubled down, saying, nope, I maintain my position here. He deserved to be kicked from this tournament. He violated all of our rules. And then today he came forward very somber, like, look, I know everyone's mad at me and they're right to be mad at me. I was wrong about everything. I looked at this misleading evidence. It was only from one side and it was incorrect. I acted too hastily. So now he's, like, singing a very different tune about how, you know, he's had this come to Jesus moment after seeing the other side of the story with Kingsman. It's very clear that he was manipulated by incorrect information. He shouldn't have kicked him from the tournament.
When they come in here with the people, when they come in here, when they hate, they're justified in what they're saying. They're absolutely right. They're absolutely right. 100%. No.
Basically, he only got one side of the story and just ran with it. He didn't contact Kingsman. He didn't ask for anything else. He just basically just took something from some rando and just ran with it. Honestly, yeah, everybody would be justified in how mad they would be of him, because now this affected you. Always get two sides. It's like, I never understood this. Like, I truly don't understand this. How is it that we consistently see, situations where people hear one side of the story, run with it, and then when it comes out that it's not as it seems, you know, like it at some point it gets tiresome, because it's like, do we not learn from mistakes that we see on such a grand scale? And this is another thing to go by it. If Kingsman was lied on and then you just took it and ran with it, now your reputation and your decision-making abilities have now gone straight out the window, because nobody knows how to perceive you in this type of light. Now your reputation is now sullied.
Question about it. Like, there's no beating around the bush. I don't know why it's, like, difficult to admit when you're wrong and when you fucked up. I made a decision based off of haste and based off of misinformation, but everybody in the team knew what was going on. Everybody in this team knew what was going on, and the fact that nobody told me it was... That's whatever. It doesn't matter.
Also, Kaplunk, whom was the boyfriend in this story, is reaching out with an apology, saying that he went about it the wrong way and overstepped. Zaza, the widow, told him to leave it alone, but he couldn't control his impulses. The demon had to be let out of the cage. Thus, he went in and started sending clips to the tournament organizer to kick him, the Google Doc, all that kind of stuff. And then finally, CC, the team captain, the one who was by far the most openly hostile to Kingsman and anyone that was showing any level of support for him, came forward with an apology as well, saying, I'm sorry, I was going off the video and forgot to explicitly call this out. Earlier today, I woke up with 1,000 noties from the day before, and people had joined my server from Kingsman, having a panic attack, and I just started experiencing them. So in my freak out, I said Kingsman lacks social skills because he spends his time playing video games inside. I was angry and ended up lashing out at him instead of his community. I deeply regret it. I apologize for flinging another insult out. It shows I have terrible character, but I will be working on watching the words I say and getting help with my panic attacks. A community note even got hot dropped on here straight off the battle bus, saying, even after the initial situation calmed down, CC continued to bully Kingsman and speak ill of him across social media. CC has a history of attacking other players and talking trash. So that apology didn't really go as smoothly as I think she was hoping.
You know, it's interesting, the fact of how your digital footprint or what you do online can sometimes come and bite you in the butt. And this is one of those moments because, wow, the community notes really aren't about to let you say all this. Okay.
Hoping it would. And interestingly enough, from what I can find, Kingsman throughout this entire thing has tried to urge people not to harass anyone that's been involved in it. You know, Zaza, her boyfriend, Cece, anyone. He's been trying to like actively calm things down to the best of his ability, but this clearly blew up well beyond anyone's wildest expectations. And Kingsman actually was able to make over $3,000, which would have been his cut of the prize money should they have won the tournament, through subs and donations the last time he streamed, which I believe was last night. So a bit of a happy ending for Kingsman. Not exactly the smoothest sailing for his teammates that were bullying him, attacking him, and insulting him. That hasn't worked out super well so far. Anyway, that's really about it. So, yep.
Okay. Well, I think that was good that he was able to go ahead and get the money that he needed for college. So, and it's like the story, like an old story. Like, you know, the kid gets bullied by a bunch of bullies, and you know he ends up, you know, coming out on top. And hey, and I'm glad that people were able to see. Like, it's kind of crazy how you did this all on live and thought that you can just run some smear campaign against this guy. Like, yo, I am. I don't think I could. I don't think there's really anything I can say other than that. That's just absolutely dang near brain dead. Okay. All right, guys. That was Marvel Rivals drama. If you guys want to watch the original video, links in the description down below. And I'll catch you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.